My name is Harriet Lublin, and I am one of the marketing managers with Hurst Boiler and Welding from Coolidge, Georgia. I've been with Hurst for about 17 years. And we originally found FMA through some research I was doing on the internet looking for renewable energy information, came across a conference that was going to be held in Atlanta. So I kind of have an interesting story to tell about FMA because it was basically me that found it, and I kind of talked my superiors at Hurst Boiler into doing the show because it sounded like, the premise of it had a lot to offer. To me, you had a much more captive audience when you realize that you've got delegates attending who are, paying a good amount of money to come and attend this event. You have a much more qualified audience. To me, that stood out right away. So, I kind of went to them and kind of twisted their arms a little bit to do the show. And so when they finally agreed, then of course I started sweating bullets because I thought, well, if we get there and this thing turns out to be a flop, they're going to kill me. And thankfully, I can say not only was it not a flop, it was an unbridled success. Well, once we got here, we found that really it was totally different than any other trade show we've ever done before, which is one of the things that appealed to me when I was first reading about it. But, of course, you assume everybody's going to tell you all this great stuff and it's never going to be what they say it is. I have to say that FMA lived up to every word that they told me. I was very pleasantly surprised at it, even more so than that, with the quality of the meetings and the people that we met here. It was, again, it cut years off our sales cycle, if you ask me. To me, there was no way that we could have ever gotten to see the quality of people that we met here at FMA that quickly. It would have taken us 6 months, a year, whatever, even to get to that guy. If, we sent our salesmen out to go through the channels at some of these companies where you want to meet with the vice president or the head of engineering or the head of environmental efficiency and, all these new energy service. And there's so many new titles that are out there. You don't even know who to look for at some of these companies. So to me, I felt that was worth it in itself. Just the fact that we cut that much time out of the sales cycle getting in front of these people. And on top of that, the atmosphere here is so much more laid back. You have time to really talk to these people. One of the great features to me that FMA provided was the fact that they facilitated the meeting. They basically, interview the people that are attending and say, who would you like to meet with? And to me, when one of those companies asked to meet with us, that's worth its weight in gold. To me, that's the best qualified meeting you can ever get, because these people are looking for your help. They're coming to you and saying, yes, we're interested in your product, or we're interested in your service. And, what can you tell me about it? Or I need help with something. And that's what we found from our meetings. We had great interest from these people, and we weren't having, it wasn't like we were having to sell it to them. They already knew they had a problem and they were coming to us for a solution, which, you can't ask for a better meeting than that. So I don't know what else I can tell you. Again, one of the things I wanted to say is I find it, compared to other trade shows, that it's not even in the same ballpark. It's nothing like a trade show. To me, trade shows, you do them because you kind of have to. We do them mostly because we want our reps to see that we're keeping our name out there, we're keeping our face out there, and we're doing this to support them. But I can honestly say we've ever gotten a really good lead from a trade show. Whereas when you come here, you literally leave with a pocket full of genuine, interested buyers, or, people, like I said, who are at least looking to you for a solution, and you've got the right guy, you've got the decision maker, and you've had a chance to sit down and talk to him one-to-one.